Hi, this is Mark Ubwan, and this presentation is brought to you by markubwan.com. This Facebook presentation is about Facebook for network marketing professionals. What I'm going to go over today is simply this. I'm going to go over what a professional profile looks like, what it means to connect like a professional courtesy in Facebook, how to build a targeted list, and what it means to build your brand on Facebook. So a professional profile always starts with the picture. You want to make sure that you spend a little bit of money here and you take a professional picture, or you can borrow someone's high definition camera and use that and take a picture, with a one color, solid color background. Make sure that it's a cropped photo of your head. Make sure you're wearing at least a collared shirt. If you're a woman, make sure it's a business suit, something that can be construed as business-like. Because professionals, in the mind of the public, always dress well, and they take a good look at their appearance. The About Me section in Facebook is critical because you want to make sure that you are attracting the type of people that you want in your network marketing downline. What I mean by that is if you have an About Me section that says, hey, I like to party hard, I drink a ton of beers every day, I sit around the couch and and I do nothing as much as possible, I watch TV all the time. Those are the kinds of people that are going to be attracted to you. They're going to connect with that, and they're going to be the ones that are going to be seeking you out. Change your About Me section to be very, very, very professional. Talk about your experiences that changed your life. What keeps you going? What gets you out of bed in the morning? What makes you believe that you could succeed in an industry of like network marketing? Your contact information needs to be cut and dry. People need to be able to contact you via a phone number, an email address, or a website. These three things are extremely important. If you do not have valid information there, you need to reevaluate what people are looking at and how they're going to find you. Now, a great tagline, and what I mean by that is underneath your profile picture is going to be a box. Whatever you write in that box is usually the first thing people are going to see after they look at your smiling face. So you want to make sure that it's something that's memorable. Feel free to tell people what exactly you do. Feel free to stand out from the crowd there and be creative as possible. Listing websites on your profile can tell an internet marketer or a network marketer who's experienced online exactly what kind of prospect you are. So if you're not sending them to a professional website, a lead capture website, or something that tells them who you are, you better not put that website there, because if you're putting a company replicated website there, people are going to see you as an amateur, because the fact of the matter is that there's so much training online about how to market your opportunity online that simply sending somebody to a company replicated website just isn't going to get the job done unless you have an opt-in form on your company replicated website. The only way this will be effective is if you are driving that traffic from a group or from a meaningful connection, via a wall post or whatever it might be, that you've actually talked to the person personally, either on the phone or on email. That's the only time you can send them to your Facebook profile and to a company replicated website and have it be effective. And if it has an opt-in form, that's just a bonus because you're capturing that particular person. So let's move on. Connecting like a professional is very, very simple. All you need to do is read their profile first. By reading somebody's profile, you're going to pick up on several things that I talked about. All of the items in the previous section are what you're going to read on the profile. Because what you want to do is you want to be able to introduce yourself using a firm handshake. And I have that quoted because this is virtual land. This is fantasy land for some of you people, and you still need a firm handshake. And what I mean by that is you need to make sure that you make an impression. First time. First impressions are everything. If you can make a firm impression in their mind that you're a professional. You're there to really connect and to really add value to their lives and to really find out who they are and what they're all about. You are going to make the best impression possible. Now, building rapport is bigger than all the other points here, because network marketing is a people business. You need to care about the people that you talk to. And if you can build rapport with them in a way that they find you memorable, more likable, and somebody that they think they might do business with, then you're going to be one step ahead of the next guy. And how do you do that to be effective? Well, if you've read their profile, you can pick things out that actually give you clues to who they are. You know, because once you've defined who this person is, you've already pre-qualified them. You see what I'm saying? If you pre-qualify them, you're going to build rapport easier, and you're going to be able to find out exactly if they're going to be the right fit for you. So, the caveat to this is that sometimes people don't fully fill out their Facebook profiles properly. They don't give you anything to work with. So what do you got to do? Well, you have to make sure that you ask them questions. Ask them, have they ever had a job before that was like network marketing? How long have they been in network marketing? What were their successes? What were their failures? You know, build that kind of rapport. Build it on a professional basis. You know, develop a professional relationship there. You know, and that's how you do those kinds of things. You ask them questions pertaining to business. So a key point here is that you want to give them value first. Give first. Ask to offer advice. And what I mean by that is, some people get really put off when somebody else acts like they know more. You see, you can always tell online whether or not somebody's been online for a while based on their websites and how they interact on social media. Some people are just really quick and they can figure it out a lot faster than others. But if you're going to offer somebody's advice, I suggest that you go about it in a way that it's, not, off-putting. So, tell them, hey, I was checking out your website, I really liked it, but did you ever think about putting your opt-in form above the fold? And if they ask you, what is above the fold? Well, then you know a little bit about their level of understanding in internet marketing. Because when you have an opt-in form above the fold, you're going to get more opt-ins because people aren't going to scroll down. They're not going to need to scroll down to find that opt-in form. Now, that's critical, because once you define that these people need help, then that's where you come in, and that's where the value is. So, once you build that value, people are going to look at you as an expert, and they're going to come to you for advice, and that is going to be critical in network marketing online. Professional courtesy on Facebook is something that I felt like I needed to touch on because people do not talk about it enough. Professional courtesy is simply this: don't do things that you wouldn't normally do in a professional environment. You know what I mean? So, would you go up to somebody you didn't know and hand them a business card and tell them, to give you money? You would never do that. So why do people think that it's okay to go to somebody's wall and post an opportunity telling them how easy it is to make money, and all they got to do is give you 25 bucks, 10 bucks, 100 bucks, and they're going to be rich? You would never, ever, ever do that in a professional setting, because it just does not work in the real world. And I'm sorry to say, but social media is still the real world. You're dealing with real people who understand personalities, and if you come off and you turn into that guy that nobody likes, then it'll be difficult for you to rebuild your brand. And to rebuild a brand is one of the most difficult things to do in a business ever. Just think of any type of fast food chain that has ever had food poisoning outbreaks, or auto manufacturers like Toyota that had a massive recall. You know what I mean? That they have to rebuild that brand. They were seen as a company that produced high quality products time and time and time and time again, and then suddenly, poof, out of nowhere, they had to recall all of these vehicles. They have to rebuild that brand. That's very, very difficult to do. Most people are going to see that and go, oh crap, I want a car with good brakes. I'm not going to go there. Well, that's the same thing here in network marketing. I want to join somebody that's a leader and that knows what they're doing. I don't want to join somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. So professional courtesy, I just want to touch on this. Tagging is a very, very touchy subject because a lot of people tag people they don't necessarily know and they don't necessarily do business with or are professional with. So when you tag somebody, make sure that you do the professional courtesy of at least asking them if you could tag them, or if it's implied in your relationship, then it's probably okay. But make sure that whoever you're tagging understands exactly the value that you are going to put and associate with them, because if you're associating another person with crappy value, then they're not going to like that too much. So use your professional judgment there, and make sure you only tag people that really appreciate your value and something that you can actually give back to them. So group messages, don't spam messages to groups. It's stupid, and nobody reads your messages anyways. And make sure that you understand exactly how you're connecting with people, and that you're using good language and such, things like that. Now, building a targeted list of prospects on Facebook is actually very, very simple. And the reason is this: professional sort and pre-qualify. It is very easy to sort and pre-qualify on Facebook because you get so many different things from reading somebody's profile. You can take a look at their pictures, who they associate with, things of that nature. Now, groups and fan pages are going to be extremely important to build a targeted list. The objective is that you want to build a responsive group, because when you have a responsive group, there are more people that are going to interact with each other, and there's more sharing of value. Messages with value is important because every time you message your group, you are in effect building your brand. People are going to get to know you in that way. How many times has this guy have I opened this guy's email and it's been crap? Or how many times have I opened this guy's email and it's been spectacular information, stuff that I would have loved to have, whether I've experienced, novice, just getting my feet wet, whatever it might be. If every time they open your email and it's something super, super helpful, then they're always going to open your emails and they're always going to hear you out. So when you have that trust and that likability, well, you can start giving messages with opportunities. You can start to kind of, every so often, you can start offering an opportunity. Say, hey, you know what? This has been my success with all of these strategies. And now that I'm taking all of this success and I'm implementing it into my opportunity, would you like to work with me and share this success so that we can build an opportunity together and build a business together long term? That is something that you really, really, really want to look at as far as building groups and fan pages. Now, messages with product offers is pretty touchy because people don't like to be sold to. But if you've developed a social media presence that's unparalleled to anybody else in the industry, you can send out messages with product offers and you will actually get sales. But the key is you want to campaign properly. I hope you guys were watching MLM Launch Formula, because that campaign is exactly how to work social media. Now, learning how to write headlines and copy is something that will get your emails open. So when you have a group and a fan page, if you message all members, I don't know about you, but I am a member of hundreds of groups. And I'm glad not all of them send me messages every day, but a good majority of them do. And I delete almost all of them, because the headline